last spring, Toyota Canada released the results of its annual road trip survey. And the results were, well, very conclusive. In fact, 77% of all Canadians who were surveyed said, we're getting out of Dodge this year, we're taking a road trip. It so happened that myself and my family had the exact same plans. So it kind of made sense for me to get a Toyota product for this road trip. Now you'll obviously have recognized what's behind me, 2022 Toyota Sienna. Yes, I do have a very huge soft spot for this hybrid minivan. But that's the reason why I went with the Toyota Sienna. In fact, there are a few reasons, but one of them is, and I know this is going to sound a little bit like a Toyota advert, and I apologize for this, and I am being mindful of the fact that Kia and Hyundai have an extensive collection of hybrid products as well. But Toyota has something in every mainstream segment. In other words, they have a hybrid alternative or a hybrid-only powertrain for its biggest sellers, even unlike Hyundai and Kia. Yes, I know the CHR, well, the CHR isn't exactly a sales success now, we can agree. And the GR products are a different beast altogether, and that leaves the 4Runner and the Tacoma. But if we take into consideration what Toyota has done with the Sequoia and the Tundra, I'm pretty sure there's some electrification that's going to happen for the next generation of these otherwise fantastic products. So hybrid, Toyota does hybrid very good and for everyone. My road trip, see the difference, usually in a week-long road test, I will travel between 250 and 400 kilometers doing my usual running around. But this time, as you can kind of see from the background, I'm not exactly in the greater Montreal area anymore. In fact, so you know, I'm in Maine. It's kind of like the summer Florida in the winter. No, you know, we go to Florida in the winter and we go to Maine in the summer. It's the closest access to the Atlantic, or at least the shortest distance traveled. But despite that, I'm still going to put about 1,500 kilometers on the Sienna, and my primary goal is to find out how fuel efficient this vehicle. We all know it's very fuel efficient, but this time it's a little bit different because you see that Thule box on the roof, it's not there just for good looks, although you have to admit, in fact, any box on almost any car just makes it look that much cooler. Now, see, for this road trip, there are 6 of us aboard the Sienna. There is a lot of gear for our vacation. That's why the box is on the roof, because there just isn't, despite the size of the Sienna, there was just not enough room to carry everything we needed to bring with us. And the other thing too is that the road that we've taken to get here actually crosses New Hampshire's White Mountains, which are beautiful, but you're going like this. So we did a lot of highway, a lot of city, and a lot of mountain road driving, countryside, this and that. And look, I can tell you right now, the fuel efficiency numbers are mind-boggling for this large family, fully loaded vehicle. It also happens to be damn good looking, isn't it? Anyhow, so in the following video, well, we're going to do the brief walk around. I mean, you've seen this before. Again, I don't know how many times I've driven the new Sienna, and to be quite honest, I hope to drive it many more times in the future as the model evolves. But yeah, we'll do a walk around. What I want to show you is how loaded it actually is. I might not show you what's in the box, but I promise you there's stuff in there. And then we'll take it for a brief road trip, road test, drive. I got this. I am on vacation after all. Just to talk about the fuel efficiency and how impressively well this car handles those twisty up and down mountain roads. So here we go. All right, so yes, we've all seen what a Toyota Sienna looks like. It's been around for, well, almost 2 years. In fact, has it been 2 years? I think it's been 2 years. We all know what the current generation Sienna looks like. And just so you know, this portion of the video is happening after the next portion. I kind of half explain it in the next portion. Okay, so still a great looking van, at least in my opinion. And no, actually, I haven't transformed the Sienna into a gasser. You can see that the front wheel gap is a little bit bigger than the rear one. That's because this van is very, very much loaded. So before I show you what a messy, loaded minivan looks like, pricing. $41,050 for the LE front wheel drive 8-passenger. That is exactly the van you were looking at right now. All-wheel drive for the second electric motor, which is an absolute must, is an extra $1,800. I went over this in a previous video of this exact same van, where I do kind of a trim walk and what you should do. But look, the basic equipment in this minivan and the 17-inch wheels, as you see there, heated front seats, steering wheel, 9-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a bunch of other stuff, including Toyota Safety Sense 2.0 with intelligent cruise, which has come in very handy on this long road trip with pre-collision detection, pedestrian detection, lane departure assist, and warning. It's well equipped, but there are a few key issues that are not included in this van. And I'm just gonna quickly show you what a loaded minivan looks like. You ready for this? Okay, that is that is packed, and as we know, because the third seat goes into the floor down here, that goes all the way down. There's actually another plastic bin. See, the same size plastic bin is under there. That gives you an idea of the depth. But if you can do trunk Tetris well enough, you can get everything to fit. See, no power hatch. I actually fell for that. That is one of the cruel things that are missing on this van. The other one being intelligent or keyless entry. It doesn't have, obviously, it's unlocked right now, but that's something, that's why you got to move up to the XSE. Again, I go over that in the trim walk video of this exact same van. Look, it is packed, okay? The kids, all kinds of stuff. The back seat is currently being used by 2 adults, and they are actually adult women. They are actually quite comfortable back there. Yes, they have their pillows, but they have decent headroom, decent at best visibility, but good leg room as well. Like I said, it's packed, it's a mess. But thankfully, it does have power sliding side doors. Another cruel missing thing in here is that it doesn't have lumbar support adjustment. And that's not because I'm old. That's because like 5-7 hours plus of driving straight, the lower back just, it gives out after a while. But beyond that, I mean, everything is here. The amount of space and cubby bins and, places to store. There's my wallet. There's nothing in there. So even if I lose it, it doesn't matter. Storage, the wipes because the kids, Kleenex, cafe frappe, very important, water, Mentos because, close quarters. Excellent storage in here too, passports and so on. And the shelf, we actually we went through some country roads, so we removed some of the stuff that was on the shelf because it does slide, except the glasses stayed there. But I guess just because, why not? Just gonna start it up just so you can get a shot of a 9-inch screen. Anyway, whatever. Hard buttons, easy to work, beautifully set up. This is the distance in, that's not the distance in miles, distance to empty. Trip A, yes, 735.4 miles covered so far. And are you ready for this? 35 miles per gallon. And the speed limit is 65 miles per hour in Vermont, New Hampshire, New York, and Maine, most places, and I haven't been doing that. So the fuel consumption is just exceptional. I mean, bottom line, I've said it before, even though, again, the Odyssey won our comparison last year, this is still the best minivan on the market, the most fuel-efficient minivan, and probably the most comfortable, most comfortable minivan you could almost buy on the market today. Anyway, now let's go back in time into the next segment of the video for the driving portion. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna be as concise as possible when it comes to the drive, if only because we know that this is fuel efficient. The downsides, well, it's when the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine kicks in after you're driving nice and easy in a, well, this is not really a city, in a semi-village setting. Right now I'm full electric, and then the engine comes in and it kind of really harshes the mellow that is happening in the van. But look, that applies to any plug-in hybrid and any regular hybrid. 4-cylinder, 2.5 liter. Naturally aspirated engine with the electric motors. The total combined output is 245 horsepower, which despite its 4,610 pound curb weight for this LE, with an estimated, I figure we're at about 1,100 pounds worth of people and gear in here. I might be off by 100 pounds, but upwards. I mean, so let's just say about 1,200 pounds. So we're looking at a solid 5,800 pounds that this hybrid system has to carry. And honestly, it's plenty enough power. Even going uphill through the White Mountains, I can't complain at all about the amount of energy produced by the hybrid system. To be clear, to be honest, and to repeat what I've said in a previous review, I have been driving in Eco Drive mode exclusively. This way it just mellows out the entire powertrain. It just rolls nice and easy. The ECVT kind of feels, sounds, responds. It's more at ease that way, and it does make the driving experience far more enjoyable. Another highlight, or the first highlight as far as the drive is concerned, some of the twisty roads that I took crawling, well, traversing Maine, and this is again fully loaded, 5,800 pounds, were very twisty with amplitude or crests and all of that, and in the rain as well. This thing stays flat. It's truly remarkable how well this minivan handles. A lot of it has to do with the track. This thing is so wide. The track is so wide. It just works out beautifully. Steering is nice. I mean, there's a little bit of a drop in assistance once you get back to the center. But again, even in Eco Drive mode, the steering response is really good. I really can't complain. And the brakes, they work fine. They're absolutely great. And the best part of all is at this point in time, because there's going to be kind of a switch where I reload the van and then I'll do the walk around when it's all loaded. So this is the future in the video, but the past in the production. We've covered 575-ish kilometers. At this point, we've only gone through a little bit over half a tank with an indicated fuel consumption average of only 6.8 liters per 100 kilometers. This is truly better when you consider the weight, the amount of stuff, the driving conditions, better than many, and I do probably most compact sedans, non-hybrid of course, better than most, well, whatever's left of mid-size sedans, better than most compact and mid-size SUVs. And as I will show you, but you've just seen, this thing is loaded and it's extremely spacious. This is almost a miracle. I mean, you could spend a lot more to get an EV, but you won't get the driving range you go. Anyway, I love EVs. That's not what I'm trying to say. The point is that with this fuel consumption number, paying more for a plug-in hybrid doesn't make sense in my mind, even though it's not available. Well, it is, and it's not as efficient as this, the Pacifica. And just so you know, if you do go for the all-wheel drive version, which I absolutely would, your fuel consumption average, the way I've driven this, loaded as it is, despite, I believe, close to 200 pounds more for the rear, or maybe a little bit more for the additional rear electric engine, you'd probably tack on, you'd hover around 7 liters per 100 kilometers, which again, loaded as it is with, you know, well, it's not affecting the drag coefficient too much now, is it? The box on the roof. I don't know. I was convinced that this is the best family vehicle money can buy, and now I'm just even more convinced, and which is kind of upsetting, if only because, well, this is unobtainium at this very moment. But if you do want to get your name on a list, I mean, we will be driving petrol-powered vehicles for years and years to come. So if you want a fuel-efficient vehicle that can do it all, this is it. It's the Sienna. The Sienna is the answer. The other answer is Miata, of course. You very well know this. Anyhow, that's it. It was and remains an extraordinary family vehicle.